Couple of quick things before we wrap things up here. First of all, I am the beneficiary of literally hundreds and hundreds of really talented, amazing people, and then I'm just the nose cone of the rocket, and there's so many people to thank. 11 years ago, I made the decision to come to TBS. At the time, people were really surprised that I did that. They didn't think that would be the move. I did it for one reason. A guy named Steve Conan came to me, and he's one of the loveliest people I've ever met in show business. He's what the Irish call a mensch, and we take words that we like. Anyway, he came to me and he said, I will protect you, I will let you and your people do whatever you want, I'll never interfere, and we'll support you 100%. They did that. They did that in every single way. They never went back on their word. They were extraordinary and lovely. The people at TBS were nothing short of remarkable. None of this would have happened. I'd have gone away a long time ago if it weren't for them. So Steve Coonan, I thank you. David Levy, Kevin Riley, Dave Wolkis, Sandra Dewey, Brett Weiss, Jen Cohen, we love you. Thank you all so much for making this happen. They're really good people. I want to thank my squad. They've been with me forever. Rick Rosen, Gavin Pallone, Lee Brakeen. They're the best at what they do, and they take really good care of me. Got to bring up the guy who I met back in 1993. I was paired with him to try this crazy thing. No one thought it would work, and he's been my executive producer since then. And we are brothers from different mothers. Our executive producer, our jefe, Jeff Ross. Want to give it up to Jeff Ross? Where are you, Jeff? Hi, Jeff. Yeah. He's busy. He was back there trying to get a restaurant reservation. Anyway. They don't have an outside table. All right, well, anyway. You know, Jack Black brought up something really important. In another era, a sidekick was someone who sat next to the host and laughed along and just sort of supported them. And they were great in their way. They all had their special skills. And when I found Andy Richter, he's one of the funniest people that I ever met, and I put him next to me. And Andy, I never said to Andy, you know, give me room, you know, you can't get the laugh, I've got to get the laugh. The rule was always, if you think of the funniest thing, just say it, and that'll get us out, and he did it 100,000 times. He's a brilliant man, and I love him forever, Andy Richter. You know, it would have been... You know what, it will actually... Andy! Me cry. It would have been nice if you like fake laughed once. There were times. I started as a comedy writer, so I always took it as a point of pride. I always wanted to have the very best comedy writers, and I did. Not starting in 1993 and until now, I've just, I mean, I cannot express how brilliant these people are. And I don't often know that writers are appreciated as much as they should be. I know that there are awards for them, but they're behind the scenes. You have no idea the courage of many of my writers, the ingenuity, just the beauty of their minds, how they work, and they're also really good people. I've been blessed with the best writing in television, in my opinion, for 28 years. So, yeah. Really. Shoe writers, I gotta call out two in particular right now because they're true, just amazing people who still have kept this show going all through the TBS years, and that is Mr. Michael Sweeney, Michael B. Sweeney, if you're here. Mike Sweeney's here, and who's amazing, and he's always in the trenches, and he goes with me on all the travel shows, and we've been having fights all over the world about It's just absolutely absurd, and half the time he's wearing his pajamas and an old beat-up Chatham sweatshirt, because that's all he brought. And I love him. And I'll tell you someone else, Mr. Matt O'Brien, who is, I have to point out, he's no relation to me at all. He's just a brilliant writer in his own right. But I always tell people that he's my uncle's son, and we had to hire him. And so many interns think it's true and don't give him the respect he's due, and I think it's the funniest thing in the world. But Matt is great. There's a guy on our show who never gets any recognition, and you will agree with me that he is the truest warrior.
Keeps it running.
He is the, like, in the bottom, the very bowels of the works, the gears. He's been with me. I think he started with me way back in the early 90s as an intern. And he is the guy who travels the world with me. He's the guy that makes things happen. When people try and shut us down and try and stop a shoot, he does some crazy thing that's illegal. He gets shot in the leg but doesn't say anything about it till later. He is the truest warrior I've ever met, Jason Chalemi. We didn't think about this through at all. Everyone's a creep that comes out of the dark. It's like I'm just introducing sexual predators on the show. Here's another creep. Yes!
Here I am.
A brilliant woman who is our line producer and makes everything happen. If she left us tomorrow, I would leave show business and Jeff would leave. She just makes everything work. She's a genius. Sarah Fedorovich. We got to give it up to Sarah. Sarah! Where are you creep? She's off. All right, well, whatever. Hey, I gotta give a shout out to somebody. This is very hard for young people to understand, but in 1993, when I was chosen to replace David Letterman, people thought it was a batshit crazy, stupid idea. They didn't know me the way you do. I had no experience. I really shouldn't have had the job. One guy changed my life. Lorne Michaels at Saturday Night Live said, he did something. He said, I think that guy. And NBC said, the writer with the weird hair? And he was like, trust me, he's got something. And Lorne put his credibility on the line. He really did at the time. You can go back and read, and people wrote, wow. I remember reading an article that said Lorne Michaels has taken like the biggest gamble of his career with this complete unknown for such a big job. Lorne saw something in me. I'd like to think he was right, and he changed my life, and I'll owe him forever. He's a great man. So, yeah. On a personal note, quick shout out to Lisa Kudrow, who I met right outside these doors in a little improv acting space. In 1985, and I immediately sized her up as like one of the coolest, most talented people I'd ever meet, and a lovely person. When I went through, when I started to go through the possibility that I might get this job that was, I must repeat, a completely insane idea, and nobody except Lorne thought it could work, Lisa Kudrow had more faith in me than I did, and she said, you've got to do it, you have to do it, you're like the only one that can do it. I thought she was nuts, but I wouldn't be doing this job. You wouldn't know me if it wasn't for Lisa Kudrow, so big shout out to her. Now, I'm gonna wrap this thing up as fast as I can. I come from a big family, but I gotta give a big shout out to my parents who I think raised me right. I love you, Mom and Dad, and they'll see this, I think, 3 months from now, because they don't know how the internet works. someone will get them a film of this, but I love them dearly, and you know, what are you going to say? They're just amazing people. My siblings, Neil, Luke, Kate, Jane, and Justin, they never, ever were impressed with anything. They just, I mean, would you? No, I'm not saying that in a bad way. They just had they always treated me the way they did when we were kids, which was shitty. I'm a fucking celebrity, man. They're really amazing people. They've supported me in every way. It's probably not always the easiest thing to be related to someone, you know, like me, who acts like an ass for a living. But they've never for a second bought into any of the potential foolishness of this business. And they give me shit constantly. And I love you guys all for it. Probably the biggest shout out I got to give is one of the most amazing things, or I'm going to say the most amazing thing that happened to me on this show over the 28 years of the various shows, of the various 9, was shooting a remote, and I saw this woman on the remote was an advertising executive. Immediately fell in love with her. You can see me kind of fall in love with her on camera. It was the best decision I ever made in my life, including Late Night. I mean, she is the best decision. She's my beautiful, super smart, much smarter than me wife, Liza. So thank you, Liza. And I'll tell you, this is how. Whatever people think of me in our relationship, they quickly figure out that Liza's the smart one and really funny. And when we shot the scene from the Notebook where I kiss Ryan Reynolds, she saw it happen. She was there. She saw it happen. And when it was done, she said, well, that ruined both of you for me. And because of Liza and because she's so smart and such an amazing mom, I have just two incredible children. I know everyone thinks their children are incredible, but I've seen some of your children and they suck. My children are better. They just are, you know. I've really looked into it. You got some bad children. Nevin Beckett, I love you. And again, you'll see this in 30 years when you start to understand about my career. And then I'll just close with this one thought. I have devoted all of my adult life, all of it, to pursuing this strange phantom intersection between smart and stupid. And there's a lot of people that believe the two cannot coexist. But God, I will tell you, it is something that I believe religiously. I think when smart and stupid come together, it's very difficult, but if you can make it happen, I think it's the most beautiful thing in the world. I am so grateful to all my staff and the fans in this country and around the world who have joined me in this really crazy and seemingly pointless pursuit to do things that are kind of stupid but have something smart in there somewhere, and then there's a little tiny sort of flicker of what is a kind of a magic. I think that's what I believe. So my advice to anyone watching right now, and it's not easy to do, it is not easy to do, it's not easy to do, but try and do what you love with people you love, and if you can manage that, it's the definition of heaven on earth. I swear to God, it really is. So good night, thank you very much!